I do? Sorry. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co-host, Jim.
It is really early in the Netherlands.
It really is, and we are Sans Hunter for one more week. He is on his honeymoon in beautiful Chicago.
Well, it depends on what part of Chicago, I guess.
Okay, yeah. I suppose that's true.
But I ate a pizza there once, and that was beautiful.
Now
Sometimes I get a little
you know what? I'm not a
thing.
fan of the deep dish. Not a fan
Really?
of the deep. No, I mean, I grew up in Philly and New York, where they got the big, thin. You fold it in half. You know, that's how you eat a
rivalry.
That's why you have a goddamn pizza, not a casserole or whatever the hell they have over in Chicago.
It is basically a lasagna.
It really is. It's a lasagna with a crust. So Hunter will be joining us next week when he comes back from his honeymoon because he just got married. Again, congratulations to him. But we have guests this week, guys, and they are joining us in the wee hours of the morning from the Netherlands. It is, 4 a.m. over there, you guys? Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's 4 a.m. here. I would say, I don't know if it's early or too late. Don't know what to say exactly.
That is an ungodly hour where no one should be awake. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. Joining us from the Netherlands, we have David Jimenez, designer, coder, and the Punisher at Two Awesome Studio. And Alejandro Santiago, lead programmer / Iron Man, also from Two Awesome Studio. We are here to talk about their game, currently in Kickstarter, called Dimension Drive. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Yeah.
Hi,
sorry.
how are you doing?
Oh, I'm probably just as tired as you are. I had a very exhausting, stressful, busy weekend, which I have not really recovered from. There was a wedding, which not mine, but family, so that was crazy. But yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to get up in the crazy ass early morning that you're in right now, and talk about this game. Now, right now you're in Kickstarter, so let's say for anyone who hasn't seen your Kickstarter yet, what can you give us, like, the pitch of this game? Throw it out there for people who might not have yet seen your Kickstarter campaign.
All right. So, Dimension Drive is a game about all the things that we love. It's a game about space, a game about aliens, about dimensional teleportation, wormholes, and cool spaceships. That's what Dimension Drive is about. But in a nutshell, what you could think about Dimension Drive is a dual battlefield shooter where you teleport across two spaces and you fight in kind of like two games at the same time, I would say. All of that mixed with a cool story and a comic book style of that we're trying to tell the story of this lead character Jacqueline, that she's trying to find her way in the universe by fighting these aliens that are attacking different dimensions. And now they have arrived to ours, and she's the only one with this ship that has this capability to teleport and take the fight to these guys across different dimensions. So that's what Dimension Drive is, more or less, in a nutshell.
Right, and I really like how it kind of takes, Jim was saying this earlier, it takes a lot of games like this have a split screen mode for multiplayer. Jim, what were you saying earlier about that? Jim, are you there? Oh, God. Jim was saying, I don't know where he is. Jim was saying that it's like I don't know. I hope not. He records this stuff. Jim was saying
I'm
that.
still here. I had an app lock up, and then I didn't have my mouse. I had the microphone muted, so I couldn't unmute it.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, it's, as opposed to a split-screen multiplayer, it's the first time I've ever seen a split-screen single-player game. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two dimensions that you deal with, are they essentially very similar with minor differences between them, or are they like one is the alien dimension and one is ours? And
No, not exactly. I mean, you'll get to experience that once we have the full game, and you are able to see the full story of the game. But what we did originally, we in the first prototype of Dimension Drive was to have really wildly different dimensions in the left and the right side, right? And what we saw is that in terms of art, the artistic side of the game, it wasn't looking good. That was the main issue, because you were having two totally different things on the left and the right side, and it wasn't working. So
right, and it also doubles your art tasks too. So because you have to make 2 games at that point. So
yeah, that's also true. But in a way, it was not looking so nice. And so what we decided to do was to rework the story. And so you are fighting these multidimensional wars. But normally in the levels, you will be fighting across 2 different places of the same dimension, actually. So you are in the same dimension in the current level that you are playing now, but you are teleporting back and forth between 2 different places.
Oh, I see. That's pretty awesome.
So in this level, for example, this is level 1-2, and what happens there is that you have this planet in the background. That would be Planet Bane, and the idea is that you have to defend this planet from the incoming bad aliens that are attacking it, and they've actually destroyed what would be their international space station. That's all the debris that you see floating there. So you're basically now defending this planet, orbiting around it in different places. So that's what you are doing. You're fighting this war on both sides of the planet, I would say.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, geez.
yeah, so it's a game that it kind of reminds me of, although it looks nothing like, is Ikaruga, which originally came out on the Nintendo GameCube, and then you can get it on Steam now too.
And Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, Dreamcast. I forgot that even existed.
What? How dare you?
I never owned one. Sorry.
How dare you, sir?
The mechanic in that game was that there was black enemies and white enemies, and then the ship could flip between colors, right? So whatever polarity the enemy was, you would want to be the same polarity. You couldn't be damaged by it. But here you have actually the left and right side of the screen. So there's times that you want to jump from one side of the screen to the other, because it gets a little bullet hellish. And there's some places where you just can't survive if you stay there. So you have to jump to the other dimension. But it's pretty interesting. And you have an indicator that shows where your ship will appear over there, so you don't have to really guess.
That's clever.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Jeez.
Yeah, we know Ikaruga. I mean, I've played Ikaruga quite a lot, and
jeez.
I gotta say that that being compared to Ikaruga is really humbling for us, to be honest. It's a really good game, Ikaruga, and yeah, the polarity mechanism that they have in Ikaruga is one of the inspirations that we had for this game, and somehow you can think of it that is somehow similar, but of course with having 2 screens at the same time, now we can do different things. Like now that you have this laser area where it's actually impossible to cross unless you teleport at the proper places. So it's not just about switching polarity, but also finding the moments to teleport.
Yeah,
to do this kind of mixing.
You're putting stuff real close together here.
I would say we tried to push a little bit more far than Ikaruga was. So Ikaruga was only about changing the polarity to avoid the bullets and so on. We tried to push a little bit more the puzzle, let's say the puzzle way of the game. Yeah. Like where you are playing right now with the different areas where you have to jump, either you jump or you die, let's say.
Yeah, it kind of adds a puzzle element to it, because you can't hit these rocks.
And you have to have your attention in 2 places at once, because if you need to leave, you have to have an idea of what's over there, you know. So So it's occasionally you would have to position yourself better in one environment to make the jump safely into the other one. And so if you don't have one eye on each side, then it's going to be difficult. So yeah, I think that's a really cool mechanic. I can't think of another game that has done that. I've seen games where you could actually no, there's a platformer that has it's split screen, but it's above and below that I saw a trailer for somewhere. But
yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's it came in Nintendo DS, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
but
I guess I mean that's the whole reason of having two screens there.
And then I saw there was some game where you could flip gravity, right? And you would either be on the ceiling or on the floor, and that kind of thing. But as far as a split screen mechanic like that, especially in a vertical shooter kind of game, just haven't seen that before. And that, of course, these kind of games are really huge in Asia as well. So it's coming on. I assume you guys are going to release on Steam. It probably will get through Greenlight.
We're in Greenlight at the moment, yes.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how much penetration Steam has into the Asian market, because I think you guys could make a lot of sales there.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. We are...
That's a good question.
Sorry.
It's difficult to have one eye in each screen and then talk to each other.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. But it really is an interesting mechanic, because you really have to split your vision, but not to the point where your eyes are in different places, and your eyes just stop working.
I always say that it's a bit like driving. That you have your rear view mirror, but at the same moment you cannot leave your eyes from the road. Let's say.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like that. Once you get the knack of it, it gets easier.
Yeah. See, I have an unfair advantage because I have astigmatism. So if I take my glasses off, I can actually see both.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
Because I have my eyes don't focus on the same point, so I have a prism in my glasses that kind of bends, and puts them. So yeah, but that's the thing where I've actually had to train that to try to eliminate it. Is there's computer programs where there's two dots and then they move together and stuff. So it's just stuff the doctor recommended on it, because the older I get, the worse it gets, and I don't want to keep getting stronger prescription in my glasses. So
I would hope not.
But anyway, so
yeah. Also, the thing is, at the moment the difficulty curve is all over the place, because you have in this alpha demo you have level 1-2 and level 2-2, because we are designing the game in different worlds, right? So what that means is that it's not actually level 1 and level 2. It means that you are playing in level 1. You are in one of the earliest levels in the game, but in this second level, you are already more or less, I would say, in level 6 inside the game. So that's why the difficulty curve is much higher when you are playing this level.
I gotta say, I kind of like this a little more.
I mean, the other one is more an introduction to show you how the mechanics of the game work, but it's not really challenging, of course. This second level is more challenging.
Yeah, it is.
So I assume you guys are going to have, as traditional for this kind of game, really big bosses and stuff to fight, right? How's that going to work? Because the boss will be on both screens, or maybe their weakness shows up on one screen or the other, and you have to jump back and forth, or.
Yeah, we would have liked to include at least one boss in this alpha demo, but I mean, you see what time it is now in the Netherlands, so you can imagine how it's our life lately. We didn't really have time to include it yet. So we will try to do that. But if you've seen our launch trailer in Kickstarter or in YouTube, you would have seen that we actually show a boss there, and that's where we kind of want to take the boss fight. If you see in that video, what we have is that we have one part of the boss on the right and one part of the boss on the left. and they are somehow interconnected. And the only way to destroy the full boss is to shoot at different parts of the boss, and then so for example, when you shoot on the left side, the right side will kind of open the external armor, and the external armor will become as big as the screen, and then at that point you will be able to teleport inside the area that has been cleared of the external armor, and then you will be able to shoot inside the boss. So things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and when you are actually inside, the external armor starts to slowly collapse in on you. So you have to get out of the way before it traps you inside, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of mechanics is what we want to do. I mean, it's all about this using the teleportation and this dual screen to create puzzles also with the boss.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it opens up a lot of interesting mechanics. You know, just thinking about things that you could do to the player or task them with. You know, as far as where they have to coordinate things between the two screens. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really opens up a lot of options for pissing the player off, which is ultimately what these games do. These bullet hell games, they're not meant to be fun. They're meant to make the players hate themselves until they keep going. Basically, you know, like I can beat you, you son of a bitch! Damn you! I'm gonna try again a million other times.
Yeah, it's you know, if you wanted to be really evil, you put a time mechanic in here too, where you have to like fast forward and rewind the game. That would be.
Well, we actually have there is a third type of levels that you are not seeing here that we call defense levels. And in those defense levels, what we do is that we have a timer of 30 seconds, and what it means is that you will have to clear all the enemies on both sides on those 30 seconds, so you cannot let them go by. That means that you have to teleport really crazily to do it really, really fast from left to right.
I noticed. I didn't know if it was maybe a glitch or I was, you know, had a key that stuck or something. But at some points in the level, it seemed to automatically jump me between the screens, or was that just something that was not supposed to happen? Because it seemed like out of my control, like you know, something would come on the screen and then I'd find myself over on the other one. But it could have been also like my joystick hooked up or something, might have been throwing codes at it.
No, that could probably happen, and that's something that we have to remove. Actually, it's a bug from a previous iteration of the game, I would say.
Well, it's not a bug; it's a feature. It wasn't. It's not a bug, so it was put there on purpose, but we decided to remove it because it wasn't fun to play. Actually, when you get too low on energy, and in the modern mode, the game will jump for you. That's,
oh, okay. Yeah, because I noticed there's an arcade mode and a modern mode. So what are all the differences between? And is that going to be there in the final, or you're going to eliminate the one?
No, both are going to be there. Let's say the arcade mode is the hardcore mode, where you have only one hit and you die. And the modern mode, you have this blue shield around you, and you have like 4 extra hits before you die.
Oh, that makes sense. Unless you materialize into a rock, then the game doesn't care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The shield doesn't help you there.
Yeah, shields don't do diddly squat when it comes to that.
Exactly.
Which I have found out many times. I really kind of love that I have to be careful where I jump. You know, I really love that.
Yes, what you experience is, as Alejandro was saying, what we have is in modern mode, when you are low on energy, instead of punishing you because you are low on energy, what we thought about was, okay, we jump you directly to the other screen so that you can get some energy back. But that's actually something that we are going to remove, because we jump without you knowing, and you may end up crashing against things just because we are jumping you automatically. So we're gonna probably leave it like in arcade, in that sense that if you run out of energy, you will have to switch manually.
And how do
It was
you
a cool
re-
idea.
How
Back in the time was a cool idea on paper, but didn't
Yeah, on
work out.
paper it was a good idea, but after playing it for a while, and now that you mentioned it, that for you it was also weird that the game was jumping automatically. Yeah, we will remove it.
How do you regain energy for your guns here? Because you have a limited amount, and you can run out, and I have many times.
Yeah, it's about the concept is about balancing the energy, and you do that by when you kill enemies on one side, you recharge energy for the other side,
Oh.
and when you fire, you consume energy of the side that you are actually on at the moment. So what you have to be doing is you have to keep an eye on your energy bars and kill enemies on both sides and try to balance the energy.
So you can't just try to avoid conflict by not shooting on one side or another.
Yeah, this design is made to avoid that you stay all the time on one of the sides also. So that way in this level it's impossible because we have all the puzzle areas and you have to teleport. It's impossible to cross otherwise.
Right.
But in the first level, you could, if you didn't have this energy concept, you could theoretically just stay on the right or on the left and complete the level without doing a single teleport.
Yeah, and you don't want that.
But that's not the case because we have this energy concept, so you will run out of bullets at some point.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So it forces you to jump around. It forces you to. No, I like that.
It forces you to play both levels.
It forces you to be aggressive.
Yeah.
So are there any enemies that can change dimensions to chase you over to the other screen? Is that a
yes,
planned
but
thing,
not,
maybe?
Right
Yeah,
now?
that's not right now, but this is in the plan. Yes.
Oh, that'll be crazy. So there's going to be four modes, I think I saw on the Kickstarter. There you have already arcade and modern in this demo.
Yep.
What are the other two that you guys are going to be adding?
Yeah, the other modes.
Yeah, the other modes. Like one was like a 1 credit mode, I think.
Yeah, we have the other two modes that we are considering that we showed in the Kickstarter are pacifism and 1 credit clear.
What is 1 credit clear? What is that?
Well, actually, it's a poor selection of words because 1 credit clear means that you would have to finish the game with a single credit.
Oh, no continues.
With no continuous, but we are taking it further because if you discuss with shoot 'em up experts, what they call this mode would be 1 life clear. So you will have only 1 hit to complete the full game without no continuous and no extra lives, nothing else. So if you get hit 1 time, would you go back to square one?
So we start from the beginning.
Yeah. And on pacifism, that would be also an unlockable mode. Once you complete arcade or modern, would be that you will have to play the game, but this time you are not able to shoot. You can only just dodge the bullets and the enemies and teleport.
Oh wow!
That's a game mode I have to admit I love and I hate because it's like I want to shoot everything, but I get it. It's a challenge, but I want to shoot everything.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really glad you guys are including that. Now, how many levels are you guys planning for the final version here?
We plan in our Kickstarter. What we were mentioning is that we plan to split the game in 4 worlds with four different levels, at least per world. So that would be that we would end up with at least 16 levels in the first version of the game.
Nice. And how are you going to add legs to the game? Are we like leaderboards? Is there a level editor? Mods? I mean, are you planning on doing? What are you planning on doing to keep people to want to come back to play? Because people love coming back to these things to get higher on the score, the leaderboard for their friends, and stuff like that.
So are all the missions tightly scripted, or is there a little bit of a random element that's in there? Because these games generally are about memorization. You go through, you die enough, and then you know where things are. But But then again, if you randomize it, then that kind of ups the challenge to people, right? Because you can't just depend on what you remember.
I mean, normally what you do in these kind of games is, as you said, that you have the levels are totally scripted. I mean, they are manually designed, and players actually want that because they want to be able to memorize and get better at it. What we plan on doing is to have the randomization parts would be mostly on the bosses at the end, so at the end of the levels.
Oh.
Because those they will have different attack patterns, but it doesn't mean that they will have to do them always starting with this one first and then this one second. Yeah, so they can throw things at you in different order. Of course, they will always throw the same attacks at you, but they will come in different moments and they will not do them exactly in the same order every time you play. So that's not something that you normally do in these kind of games.
Oh, okay. Another thing, I've not seen a game like this do, but the vertical shooter thing, because people do have to memorize the patterns that the enemy's doing that.
Yeah.
But if you took the length of a single level, let's say a level takes 5 minutes long, if you split it into 5 1-minute chunks and then randomize what order those chunks show up in, then you still have the memorization thing, but you have to realize, which of the 5 you're actually in, right? As it,
that could theoretically work for the levels where we don't have any environment or puzzle areas around it. Otherwise, we will have also to put in these chunks the rest of the environment and the puzzles.
Yeah, you'd have to have a place where the environments could meet in any order. So that would make it difficult. So did you guys? Whenever you make a game like this, because I can't conceive of how I would go about scripting all of this. That's a lot of stuff, and the timing has to be just right. Especially in a bullet hell thing, where you have to make sure that the enemy's shots overlap in a certain way that people can survive it, but it's not easy. So do you start that with you make the level that scrolls by, and then do you have an editor where you can just place enemies and kind of fast forward and rewind over a part to make sure that it looks right, or do you actually just code it and then play it and see if it worked?
No, we developed the game in Unity, and Unity has its own its own editor. But what we do as we have kind of, I would say, an original or strange design for the game, because we have two levels side by side. What we do is we have a custom layout for the Unity editor where we have on one screen we have the two levels side by side, and then on my second monitor we actually have the game as you would see it if you play it. So we have the editor on one monitor with two sides, and on a second monitor we have the game playing. And we can just we drag and drop enemies, and we move them around. We change the input parameters of how they are going to shoot, where they are going to shoot, in which direction, how they are going to rotate, and all of that inside the editor, and then we just play it over and over and over again until we are happy with how it plays.
That's neat. Have you guys?
The problem with that we play as too much time the same level, so we always think it's too easy. That's you play and play and play, and then you end up with an impossible level. But of course, by memory all the enemies where they're gonna be and how they're gonna shoot, and so it's easy for you. It's like it's too easy. Let's make it harder.
Yeah, I would be actually interested in if you guys streamed and then record it and put it on YouTube and maybe stick it in the Kickstarter. But that actual editing process, where you're making a level, I would love to see you guys make a level, or even like 5 minutes of doing it, because I can't. I've never seen anybody do that. Oh, cool.
If you go to
David already did one.
Yeah. in one of our Kickstarter updates, you will find. I think I did like 4 hours of streaming where I recorded the design of one of the levels. So
I saw you announce that, but I couldn't watch it.
So it's there now. If you missed it in the when we streamed it live, you can now watch it. I uploaded it to YouTube, so you can, if you go to our Kickstarter page and look for it on the updates, you will be able to see how we develop the levels.
Oh, cool! Because I'm gonna head there as soon as we're done. I want to see that because it's like the more that I talk to game developers and I've got a little bit of experience myself now. And it was Unity, but it was like Unity 3.5, and we were doing a 3D thing. But it's not actually coding it, right? But kind of participating in that stuff. But to actually the timing, right? When you have so many enemies going on and the timing of them entering and the behaviors and that, and especially like for a level that's that long, right? Then do you have the entire level drawn out as one long bitmap and it scrolls it by, or how does that work, or is it a bunch of objects that go by?
No, it's a different. It's a bunch of objects that go by. It's not just a full. But that will be more for Max to explain the art part and how the backgrounds are laid out, because Max is the lead artist of the game. He's not on the stream at the moment, but he's the one actually designing the backgrounds. What we were discussing now was more designing the gameplay. So where do we put the enemies and the environment around you and all this stuff, more than the backgrounds itself.
We first put the enemies. Max, we iterate with Max. So we put some enemies. Max put the backgrounds. So David adjust the enemies. Max continue working with the backgrounds. So it's an iteration process. Till everything really fits together.
Yeah.
It's
that's cool.
Max do it first, and then David put the enemies, or the other way around. It's just really iterating all together till everything fits.
So
because especially Max being an artist, I mean, he's always asking me, but how many enemies are going to be in this area, or how dense it's going to be in terms of gameplay, or how easy or hard it's going to be, because then he designs the backgrounds and the art in that area to try to fit a bit the action,
So is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so the weapons, like in the demo, you can pick up a thing that's a spread gun, right? So are you going to have a bunch of other kinds of weapons, or does that just get more powerful? Because it's like in Raiden, you had like a lightning gun and all kinds of crazy stuff, and things that go, would shoot off to the sides, or like little ships that would attach to the side of you, and that. How far are you guys going to go into different weapons, or is it just going to be basically the spread thing?
Well, we want to go as far as we can. That's what we can say. And but our development process is, or schedule, I would say, is already quite tight, and also in terms of funding, what we are asking is limited. So we will have to see what finally goes in the game and what finally has to stay out. Also, it means that if you start adding more weapons and more power-ups, you need to create more levels to use them. Because otherwise you end up with a game that is terribly unbalanced, and you don't want that. I mean, you don't want to just throw in a lot of weapons and then you play one of the levels and with an overpowered weapon, and it's not cool anymore. So
right.
So if you design weapons, you have to design levels that play well with them. So we are more trying to do that, to come up with power-ups and abilities for the game that then fit well with the levels. So more than just creating a lot of power-ups and weapons that ultimately will not provide too much content, I would say.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that there was some sort of an editor or something that you could give to people, where they could continue to stick levels on the game like long after you released it. But it sounds like if you're putting it together in Unity like that, then they pretty much need Unity to do it. So,
I mean, we could create an editor, but that would be a major task, I would say.
Oh yeah, that would be like making the game again.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work. So
yeah,
it's not something that we have in the plan at the moment.
Yeah,
right, Alejandro?
I wonder if anybody has made, because we have like role-playing game construction things and platformer game things. I wonder if somebody has actually made a vertical shooter construction kit.
I think someone
where you can
has.
just make your own. I would say it's impossible for someone not to have, but I've not seen it. So
it's something about that sounds really familiar. So I have a feeling someone has. Oh shit! What? I don't know, to be honest. We have checked, but as we wanted to do this quite custom, we are not really. Everything has been done by us. I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean nobody would have made something prefab that would suit this, because the split screen thing and all. Yeah, that mechanic is really unique. So. I wonder though if it'll inspire other games to do stuff like this, because it's pretty cool. That the whole thing of just having to divide your awareness into two different screens is it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's quite cool when games force you to go to a different perspective, like what Fez did, for example, and that sort of thing, where it like totally forced you to look at things from a different way. That's exactly what this game is doing. How long have you guys been working on this?
Well, we started around last year, just Alejandro and me, coding the game, because we are mostly on the programming side, as we are both engineers. So we couldn't do the art that you are seeing here. And now in January we partner with the rest of the team to bring it to life and make it a polished game. I mean, if you see. We released public demos last year. If you search the internet, you will probably find all videos of the game, and it looked totally different because it was with placeholder art that we were using. So the gameplay was there, but it was not shining like now.
Yeah, I really like how this looks. It's got a really good kind of art, comic book element to it, which I really enjoy. It's got a very specific look to it, which I'm really enjoying. I like how there's kind of a glow on everything.
Yeah, we like glowy stuff, and
it kind of gives it like a retro Tron-ish look, which I'm enjoying. It looks a little Tron-like, which I like. Doesn't mean I'm doing any better, but I'm enjoying how it looks. Okay, I almost ran into some rocks there. That wouldn't have been good. Anyway, so how many members are on your team now?
Well, we are 9 at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, from 2 to 9. We went like crazy.
That's pretty great. And how is the Kickstarter going for you guys? Is it more work than you thought it would be? Is it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I hear that quite often actually.
It's definitely way much more work than we anticipated, and we anticipated a lot of work. So
yeah, I mean it's almost kind of a full-time job by itself. But you guys have been really good with the updates. You've been putting a lot of updates out, I've noticed, and the playable demo is always helpful. Oh, I died again. That level.
Yeah, the demo itself. I mean that's
very challenging.
Very rarely do people put a good demo with a Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
So that's much in your favor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we started without the demo because there were. I mean, we sent the demo to press and to some YouTubers, but when we started the Kickstarter, we didn't put the demo publicly because some of the things were still not polished and some things were even breaking. So
So I would.
No,
I think.
no,
I think to get people to come to the Kickstarter, because I think the basically the problem is getting people to come look at it, right, and know that it's there.
Yeah, you are totally right
hopefully
about that.
So the gentleman that we had on last week was telling us about how he got his green light to succeed was by going to the Steam forums and spending a lot of time in the communities of other games that were similar to his, and and talking about his game there. And then because you have an audience of people that are into a shoot 'em up game, and there's a variety of them on Steam. So if you talked about your game and linked to your Kickstarter in those places, because what we've found is like the games
Wouldn't be
media
that
outs. Huh? Not necessarily. Because it's you're making people that are already interested in that aware that it exists, right? So, I think that it would be okay. I mean, you'd have to watch how you do it, right, or talk to the mods. I think that would be the most important thing, is make contact with whoever the moderator of that group is, and get permission or whatever. But I don't think they would have trouble with it. But it's that seems to be the relevance of external forums and stuff. Everybody seems to be moving into the Steam community quite a bit. So we're seeing a lot of the normal media is kind of being replaced by the social community inside the store itself, which was kind of shocking to me, but it makes sense. So, but anyway, that was his advice to us, and we're just kind of passing that
we'll
on
definitely
to
give
other
it a shot. I mean, we gotta say that the Steam Greenlight campaign for so far has been a bit fire and forget thing, because we were more targeting the Kickstarter at the moment. So we put it on Greenlight, and we just we didn't do too much on Steam. That's right. So probably we will have to have a single look now in the second leg of our Kickstarter and spread the word more around there.
Yeah, well, and since you have a green light, I wasn't aware of that, but since you have a green light that's active as well, that gives you even more license to go into the Steam communities and talk about it, because you're already in green light. So, you could point people there and say, hey, I know you guys like Ikaruga, because you're in the Ikaruga forum. Here's this game that we're...
what?
So, yeah. But...
we got that a lot. We get that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Son of a... God. You guys... Fuck. Son of... There's turnstiles in here. They're fucking asteroid turnstiles in here.
Haven't you ever taken the subway? Come on, you got the metro in LA. You should be familiar with this.
Well, I got farther than I had before. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
You're almost there,
I would
if you survive a little longer, you're gonna make it.
Oh shit!
If I was designing this thing, I would do such cruelty to the player, like make them jump to one side to fetch a key that unlocks a door on the other side.
That's what I'm saying. Developers of these games don't love their fans. Come on, they hate their fans.
Torture.
Hate them. They hate us, but we love them because we like being punished. We like being slapped in the face with this brutal difficulty over and over again. But that's good. That's why people love these games. It's like, God damn it, if only I had moved a millisecond sooner to the left, I would have missed that one laser bolt that killed me.
That's the thing, though, to make the game more accessible to people that suck at these games like we do. It would be almost like if you had a rewind feature in there where you could spin time backwards before you died.
I think there are some games that allow that. They're more side-scrolly than this, I think.
Yeah.
But I know there are some games that do that.
Yeah, I mean, it would of course, screw up your score bad. But I don't know. I mean, it's like, for me to ever see the end of this game, I'm gonna need to cheat, because it's not gonna happen on normal for me.
And Knack in the chat room, we're talking about Sylpheed. Do you guys ever play Sylpheed? Remember that one?
Oh, that was
no.
It's
that
an
was,
old,
that was
old.
Sega City, I think.
Yeah, it's an old. It's even older than
that-
that. Like the original game, it was. There were two games in that series. The first game was called
was Thexter, wasn't it?
Yeah, Thexter.
Oh, yeah.
That came out in '87, I think, and then Sylphid came out in '89. So they're both pretty old. But as shmups go, they're classics. And Knack is right in saying a good shmup is always knowing that failure was your fault. It's true. It's so true. This is all entirely skill based, which I like. Like every time I've died in this game of yours, it's been my fault. Like I wasn't paying attention to one side or the other, and I materialized in the rock. Oh, I died. Oh, that's great. But it keeps me wanting to come back. It's just like I know I can do better. I know I can master this level.
Yeah, the problem for me is like, okay, a game like Dark Souls, there's a reason I don't play Dark Souls. And that's because when you die, you have to start the whole level over again. and like nothing that you killed is gone, right? So there's no save spot. It's like, you get touched once and then you're like clear back at the beginning. But in those games, because the levels are so stinking long, right, and hard, because every enemy could kill you. So that's a little too much frustration for me. But in something like this, at least I feel some progress, right? Like you get iteration of going over pattern of enemies, but it's not like every enemy is a 5-minute long fight that you have to fail at 100 times. And
Right.
oh, I'm sorry. Am I having Dark Souls rage? I'll stop.
Oh, I won't play those. I won't play those again.
I tried, man.
I did.
I
did. I tried. So where are the shmups that you guys were influenced by that really got you into making your own shmup? I mean, we mentioned Ikaruga, and you guys knew that one. But what were like some of the shmups that really hit you guys?
I would say the
R-Type.
Yeah, that's the main one.
Which one was it?
R-Type.
R-Type.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that game.
Yeah, R-Type's
I,
great.
that game, exactly.
That goddamn game.
So,
But it always
so, yeah,
felt like you almost made it, and
Almost.
so
I think R meant
Yeah.
rage. That's what I think R meant. Just rage.
it might be. Well, but that game had that cool mechanic, where you had the ball that you could stick either on the front or the back of the ship, or throw it out in front of you, and yeah, it had some pretty cool stuff going on there. Because I don't think any other game had done that kind of thing before. But yeah,
no, that was
who made
pretty
that?
much. That was pretty much R-Type trademark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what really inspired us from R-Type was, I mean, if you see this level, it's full of obstacles, an environment that is closing in on you, small paths and things like that. So that was really exploited in R-Type. Before R-Type, most of the shoot 'em ups were just shooting and enemies and things like that. But R-Type was more the environment is your enemy, and that's something that we are doing heavily here. So yeah, we are pretty much inspired by R-Type, but then again doing it twice on your screen.
Yeah. Did you ever play the R-Type? It was R-Type Final, I think, came out for the PlayStation 2. Because that was kind of interesting, because you could actually like buy other ships, and sometimes you'd have to repeat a level.
I played the original ones in Super Nintendo and Super NES, but not the PlayStation ones.
Oh yeah,
And then
the R-Type
and then
Final was kind of like you had to grind to get money to buy ships, and then you could maybe survive the level. So it was kind of different there.
We were talking about the Dreamcast earlier. Let me ask you guys this: did you guys ever play a game for the Dreamcast? Called Mars Matrix?
No.
One of the hardest shooters I have ever played in my life. It's so hard. So great. I mean, it's so good. Oh my god. It's worth like downloading an emulator and crap, or even buying a Dreamcast just for like that one game. I'm not even kidding.
What is it called?
Mars Matrix.
I think I played like once or twice, and I thought that's impossible.
Yeah, you're
This
not.
game is impossible, and but it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Really long ago when I had my Dreamcast. But yeah.
God, now I want to go play. I still have my Dreamcast in the other room. I load it up all the time. Now I kind of want to load that up, even though I never get far in that game, ever.
Yeah, I'm watching a YouTube video of it. And
Oh, it's so
like,
hard.
Oh God,
It's
so
so hard.
fast.
Yeah, it's so hard.
It's like playing Raiden, but it's turned up about 3 times faster, and not so much with the bullets flying everywhere, but just the speed at which enemies enter and exit the screen.
And
Oh
Knack,
no, the bullets are fast too. Oh my God.
yeah,
no.
and Knack also
Nope.
brought up a couple Gunbird and Gigawing. Those were amazing. Just a
That sounds
great-
like a superhero team.
no. Those are really
Adventures of Gunbird and
no.
Gigawing.
Those are not vertical, but they were more like kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, they were kind of over the shoulder type shmups. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh
like
my
I-
God, dude.
No, I think
In-
they were
in Mars-
vertical.
were they?
think-
I might be
Yeah.
getting my games confused. There are so many shmups, to be honest. I mean,
Mars Matrix does something completely evil that I have never seen a shoot 'em up do.
what's that?
The bullets chase you.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, it's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
bullet magnet.
Yeah,
Oh, is that maybe he's doing it on purpose? You suck the bullets up and then throw them
yeah,
at the enemy.
yeah. That game
okay.
is that game
Because
is
I just saw like all the bullets like come
brilliant.
at the guy all at once, and I was like, oh God, what did he do to deserve that? But I guess that's to your advantage. Wow. Nope. No need for me to ever play this game. I can live it vicariously on YouTube.
I kind of
and
want to
just
play
pretend.
it right now. I kind of want to go play it because I have it in the other room. I haven't played it in a while.
I was watching a YouTube video and it looks impossible.
It is.
My
It
memories-
is.
my memories were correct, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
it looks
think-
so cool. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
the enemies.
it's
you know, there's-
so cool. I think I've beaten the first level once out of maybe 20 times trying to beat it. It's just so difficult. Now, I gotta say, I like the writing in this game as well. Like when you die, there's always a little quip between your main character and I'm guessing the ship's AI.
Yeah, that's right.
And I really like how one of the things she says is, "Why am I not wearing a helmet?" Like, yeah, shouldn't you be wearing a yeah, shouldn't you be wearing a goddamn helmet? I mean, really. I like that a lot.
If the ship explodes, what good is it?
What good is a helmet? You're right.
Wearing
That's
a helmet.
true.
I mean,
That's true, but
you're gonna be blown to pieces. So.
I know, but it does play with the trope a little bit about how girls, never wear helmets, or pretty men like Thor in the Avengers. In the comics, he's got that helmet, but they took it off because what's his name is just so pretty.
Well, you can't have your hair blow in the wind if you're wearing a helmet, right?
Chris
You have to-
Hemsworth, that's his name. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, Australian Marvel, that is Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, he's too pretty for a helmet. That's why they took one off of him too. So it's not. I guess it's not just a boy-girl thing. God damn it! I had teleported into Rock again. God damn it! Oh, Knack mentioned Omega Boost again.
Oh yeah,
I gotta
Omega
play
Boost
that.
was a pretty wild game.
I gotta play that.
That was PS1.
Yeah, I've been looking for
and,
a copy.
and it was a mech game in space.
Yeah, I've been
right?
looking
So-
for a copy on eBay.
Yeah.
Actually, we tweak some of these sentences that when you die and you respawn to break a bit the barrier, the fourth wall, in a way, because they actually, some of them they refer to Max or to our Kickstarter. So if you catch that,
I did see the
really funny.
Kickstarter mention. That was nice.
Yeah.
So I have to ask though, because I'm looking at the Kickstarter, and I don't want to be negative, but it's not going great. I wish it was. I so wish it was, and hopefully this helps. But it's not going great. I'm sorry. So do you guys have a plan B in case this doesn't pan out, like alpha funding, early access, that kind of thing?
We don't want to think about that at the moment.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
But yeah, we will have to. If that is the case in the end that we don't manage to reach our funding, then we will have to sit together, talk to the whole team, and discuss what we do and how we can push this forward if possible. That's all. To be honest.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's talked.
The scope of the game is big, so we don't know if we will be able to do it without this kind of funding.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's talked about this to you guys, but I've noticed that there seems to be some fatigue going on with Kickstarter. It's also, I noticed a lot of Kickstarter campaigns launched recently, at least in the space. I noticed a bunch of them. So it's tough. It's not the easiest.
Thanks, Tim Schafer. Did us no good favors.
Thanks, Chris Roberts.
Well, no, Chris made some bank, right? But can he deliver on that? I think he got too much.
He's still swimming in his money pit. That's what he's doing. He's swimming.
So hey, if you guys had $60 million,
how big of
a shoot 'em up would you make?
They'd have dynamic campaigns.
Hey, that's what they could do though. They could take the Chris Roberts route. Like you could buy the ship in the game for $100.
Oh no!
Pre-buy the ship.
Oh no!
I would just do that as a joke, just to piss people off, because then people come look at the Kickstarter, and you could be like, "No, we were just joking. Give us your money."
People were doing that. Did you guys? This is a little off topic, but did you guys see that whole paid mods kerfuffle mess that Steam just went through with Skyrim? Did you guys see that at all?
We were too busy, but we got some glimpse of it, and there was a petition going on, I think, and they took it down in the end, right?
They did take it down, but while it was up, there was a mod for like an apple for $30. You can add an apple,
extra apple,
and
it put one more apple on the bar in the inn, and it was $30. So it was like people had a really very negative reaction to that,
and because
the mods have always been free. But then again, we would maybe get more interesting mods if they were paid. But the problem that I see there is that if the creator of the game, whatever percentage, like 50% of the take for everybody that makes a mod, then I can see DMCA takedowns against mods that don't come through Steam because the creator's not getting a cut.
Exactly.
So then that would create trouble outside of Steam for people that do mods.
See,
so
I think a donate button or a tip jar is probably the best solution.
Yeah. And 100% of that goes to the guy that did the work.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Because the reward for the game creator of putting the hooks in to allow the mod is that they sell a lot more copies of the game.
It's amazing how well Skyrim is still selling over 3 years, after it came out. That's incredible. It's mostly because of mods.
Yeah, absolutely. And also because they don't have Call of Duty syndrome where they put Skyrim out every year.
Oh, God, I'm so glad they don't. No. That is, I think, the one downside about Unity is it doesn't seem to be very mod-friendly.
No, because everything's in those prefabs, and then it's locked up whenever you compile it, so you can't really screw around with it.
Which is a shame.
Although, is there a way you guys could do that if you wanted to leave the game open, that people could go in and modify it? Is there a way in Unity that you say, don't encrypt the files and that, or because with with the prefabs, it seems like they're just locked up once you've done that, so you can't easily modify the thing because all the assets are kind of locked. But
they're kind of built into binary files, so it's kind
right.
of difficult.
Yeah. So I mean, even with our we tried to just have a config file that lived on the outside, and that was painful. So yeah, that's
we have one of those, a few of those already outside, and it's kind of painful because they're difficult to manage, and you have to copy them manually after building and so on.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to design the levels to use config files so people can modify them or things like that. I don't know. I honestly didn't thought about that, but it could be possible, of course. But
I would say
an editor maybe.
Yeah, well, I would say get the first game done, and sell it, right? And then once you've got some money from that, then you could even DLC an editor, right, or something like that, because it's like, well, we could sell you extra levels, or we could sell you the tool that makes the levels, and the ability to plug them in, right? Because it's like, well, you can't use the modded stuff unless you pay for the DLC that enables mods or whatever, right? So I could see that actually being a valid thing. You know, just game creators in general would be able to enable mods after the fact. Like if their game is successful and then they want to give it legs with the community, it'd almost be like Skyrim, right? Where they actually did release like a mod toolkit for that thing, didn't they? So and heck, one of the DLCs is almost a mod sandbox anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I mean that's not just to you guys. That's just I'm just thinking out loud for gaming in general. That you know, because it takes development time to make that stuff, right? And it doesn't add to the price of the game, so it costs you more to put it in there on the hope that people use it. So I would say it's well within developers' right to actually charge for the toolkit. So because you got to recoup that somehow.
Could be an option after we finish the game. Well, why not?
Yeah.
I would say.
Or put it as like a Kickstarter goal. Like, you know, it's like if we make twice what we want, then we'll give you a mod kit. So, but you see, those games when they make too much money and you have like the Kickstarter goals that just go out forever, then it's almost like, well, we made a lot of money, but the game's never going to ship because now we got to promise, you know, we have to put all this stuff in that we promised that was way beyond, you know, what we thought we were going to have to do. So.
Yeah, no, we want to be realistic here. I mean, we have some stretch goals already announced, but those are things that we consider that we could be able to tackle. I think when you start to go to crazy stretch goals, sometimes it becomes unreasonable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Agreed. You don't want too many stretch goals, especially right out of the gate. That seems presumptuous.
Yeah.
Damn it! This game hates me, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I gotta say, one thing I like about this game, art-wise, is the explosions. Very, like, satisfying explosions. Now, who did the music for your game?
We have two composers, actually. One is Jose Mora, and the other one is Daniel Polman. You can read all about it on our Kickstarter, and also you can go to their SoundCloud and hear some more tracks and stuff.
Very
there.
cool.
So.
I totally will, because I'm digging. this music is perfect for this type of game. You know, kind of techno-y, kind of spacey. You know, kind of a
actually Jose did an update on the Kickstarter on how is the music going to be, because as we have like 3 types of levels, he wants to kind of that when you open the level and you start hearing the music without knowing anything else, you will already know what is ahead of you somehow.
Oh, I like it.
So you will have like 3 different intensities of music, I would say.
Oh, nice. Damn it.
I'm not a musician, so I recommend you that you read his original text rather than me talking about tempo and things like that.
Things like that. Yeah.
Ah, son of a bitch. I think I'm getting too tired to play this. I am doing terribly. Running into rocks left and right. Which I love. I love that the game just says, screw you, here's a rock. Here's a rock. Go right into it.
I heard you like rocks.
Oh, man.
Have a rock.
Oh, we heard you like asteroids. Here's a bunch of them. Go run into one. Go teleport into one. You love them, right? Right? Yeah.
You know, what would be awesome is if you had asteroids that then like broke open like eggs and enemies came out behind you, and that would be evil. See, I would do terrible things to people.
You would do terrible things to people.
Well, we have other things actually in our internal build where we will have things that you will have to open and activate yourself. So you will have switches, and then doors will open, and asteroids will clear the path ahead of you, things like that. So So it will be even more complex, I would say, in later levels.
I would think so. I mean, this asteroid dodging stuff is already pretty complicated. Ah, jeez. Ah, you got me. But I'm really enjoying it, even though I'm terrible at it. But you know, I'm actually terrible at many shmups. It's top down is not my perspective. I do much better when I'm in a cockpit.
Yeah.
So not my perspective.
So Brian, do you own? Here, I can scroll down and know whether you own it.
Damn it!
Looks like you don't. That game on Steam, Ask Breed.
What's that?
It's a mecha game. It's like R-Type, but in a mecha from an anime, right? It's like a Gundam.
Ask Breed.
ASTE Breed.
Yeah, I know which one is it. It also has like some interesting changes of cameras and things like that, right?
Yeah, because it's in 3D and sometimes it's vertical, sometimes it's horizontal.
Oh
Sometimes
god,
it
that
is.
looks
And it's got-
crazy.
And it's got
think it
melee
has
weapons.
loads. Yeah, I think it has also some levels that are even in diagonal or things like that. So it does all kinds of crazy things with the cameras.
Yeah, I'm not good enough at it to see that far into the game,
Oh god.
but I do own it. And another game that's really super cool is oh gosh, what is the name of that?
I'm wishlisting it on.
It's a Russian thing where
Oh my god.
it's like you fly an airplane and you can slow down time and stuff, and it's super gorgeous.
Oh, Cinemora?
Yeah, Cinemora, that's it. I could not for the life of me think of the name, and I was looking at it 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that game also hard but beautiful.
Yeah, there are a lot of great. Knack in the chat room is suggesting I try Rez. I've never played.
Oh yeah,
Rez.
Rez is great. You know the best thing about Rez
What?
is that it came with a sex toy.
What?
When they released it
What?
on the PlayStation. You guys know this story, right? You've seen it. So it came actually with a vibrator, and
What?
it's I guess to encourage your girlfriend to play with you.
What?
It was like, because it's a music game, right? And it's a shoot 'em up, but it's got, whenever you shoot things, it makes sounds. And then they gave you this other thing that plugs in the other controller port, and it vibrates.
What?
Like it buzzes very strongly. And I saw some girl did a write up of it, and she was just like, "We know what this is for." So.
Oh my god, Rez is not cheap. The cheapest copy on eBay is $53.
Well, it
Yeah.
comes with that vibrator, so what do you expect?
Yeah, you can get it at Adam and Eve too if you.
What?
I'm kidding.
God.
But dude, it is God's honest truth that it came with that, and there's some girl that wrote an article up, and I think because she wrote the review, they probably sold 10 times more copies of that game because of her review, not because of the vibrator thing, but just because her review got so much attention for being funny as it was.
I'm looking for this
but yeah.
vibrator. Oh,
You know,
I
they
see.
actually-
No, I
Oh,
see
by the
it.
way-
I see it. It's called a trance vibrator.
Uh-huh.
It's a USB device. It's in the manual's in Japanese only. That looks. Where do you put that? It looks like a
Pants,
shoe.
apparently.
It looks like a shoehorn. Where do you put that?
Well, you wouldn't know, Brian, because
I don't have that. I don't have the parts.
I guess. But
You know, we might have to call it a night. This
Ridiculous.
podcast is going really to odd places.
It's ridiculous. It's true, but you know, it's what it is.
Oh my god! I might have to try and
But
snag a copy
you
of
can
this.
get Rez. They did a remake of it that was on the Xbox 360.
Oh, I don't have a
If you have
360.
one of those.
No,
Well,
I have a.
That's
I
a
have-
fatal problem in your
I have a
plan.
Dreamcast and a PS2, and they came out on both of those, so I can.
You have
I
a
can-
PS3 though, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know you do. All right, so let me see if it came out for that.
I don't think it did, or did it? Maybe. I don't think it did. Sorry, guys. We go off in tangents sometimes.
Oh, there is a game that's kind of like it. It's Dyad, DYAD, that came out on PS3.
Oh yeah, didn't that come out on Steam as well? A while back.
Might have.
But anyway,
Let's see. So, Microsoft did it on the 360. Sega had it on.
oh, the Dreamcast version
They
is
put-
Japanese only, so I couldn't even use the Dreamcast version.
Oh, was it region locked on that?
The
thing?
Dreamcast
See, that's
is,
the-
yeah. I think
Yeah,
you can get a
that's the
boot
thing
disc,
I love about
but
that's the thing I love about the PS3 though, is you
Yeah,
can just import stuff from Japan and not
no
worry
region.
about region stuff.
probably import
Although I
stuff
still
from
can't read kanji, so I'm just lazy.
This sounds like a good time to wrap this up because we're going in really naughty directions, and I'm losing consciousness, and it's early for you guys too. So the game, guys, folks, is Dimension Drive. It is on Kickstarter right now. We'll include a link in the posts/show notes. And it is really a lot of fun. I encourage you to go check it out because I've been enjoying my time with it, even though it hates me. It hates. But you know what? A good shmup will hate you. We've talked about that. A good shmup will go, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck.
Yeah.
Oh, you did good. Good job. Now you suck at this.
In fact, when you get killed, the little AI box could come up and just be like, "Wow, you suck," It's just be.
I
Just
bet you there is a shmup that does that. There's got to
yeah.
be. There's got to be at least one. So, David and Alejandro, I want to thank you so much for getting up at that ungodly hour over in the Netherlands to talk to us.
Thanks to you for showing us here and showing our game, and for almost beating Global.
No, I guess I mean I beat the first one at one point, but
that's true.
But the second one, no, that one is with the turnstile asteroid. That was just cruel.
Yeah, but you are kind of right. I mean, we are not doing a game that you will just sit and finish. We are doing a game that you will have to beat.
Yeah, and it's challenging because I know I can do better, and that's what a good shmup does. It'll be like, no, you can do more. Come on, you can get a little further next time. Come on.
Yeah.
So you guys have that in spades. So I want to thank you for joining us. And folks, thank you in the chat for watching us. I'm not sure what we'll be talking about next week because my brain is melting. But thank you everyone for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.